Hey, thanks for tuning in to LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button and smash the subscribe button. On your way in, hit that bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video so you can become part of this beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here on LRGA Curves. Today, I'm talking about Below Dek. It's in its 9th season over there on Bravo, and I'm talking about it because, again, I'm triggered. I've been doing a series of videos on which I've alleged that, in my opinion, it seems what I'm witnessing is a production of certain types of storylines based off of what appears to be, I don't know what it could appear to be. They all have one thing in common, and it's melanin, where it's twisted in a way to produce a stereotypical view of that melanated experience and culture, or that it is somehow, shat upon and undermined in some way. Okay, now follow along with me here. Okay, if you've known anything about LRGA Curves over here, I've been doing these videos. I've spoken about how Nene Leakes experienced certain things that, as a viewer, I also was like, damn, that's exactly what I thought it was. I'm glad she finally said something, right? And then on other franchises within Bravo, there have been allegations of things that, are discriminatory, racist tendency behavior popping off over in the Bravo sphere behind the scenes, as far as like what the people that we like, the Bravo celebrities that we love, the melanated Bravo celebrities specifically that we love, have to endure for these checks, okay? And while simultaneously having to endure unfair treatment, because racism is unfair, having to endure that treatment on top-rated shows while being underpaid while their other franchise women are getting paid even more than them now. Okay, it's not making sense, but it never has unless you throw in the racism thing. It can't be any other thing, in my opinion. So where I am on this Below Dek, this recent episode that just aired this last Monday, showed how Cpt Lee was by Eddie Lucas that Rayna rolls her eyes. And you can see in the subtitle here, right here, that Cpt Lee is sitting in his captain's lounge. And he said, oh, she sounds like she's in a good mood because they talk on the radios all the time. And she is Rayna, the deckhand. And Eddie says, oh, yeah, because she can be difficult. Okay?
And
Eddie,
then Cpt Lee, the captain of the boat on Below Dek, says, oh, when did that become obvious?
that's his answer, right?
And then Eddie's answer isn't when Heather said the N-word around Rayna. He says, oh, I noticed the whole thing happening when I got on him about when I really started noticing the whole thing when I talked to her and Wes about some duties the other day. Not the N-word situation. No. I mean, that has nothing to do with it. Eddie went on to say, yeah, her eyes were rolling all the way back in her head. And then they do a flashback to a previous episode where Eddie is sitting back. He's always so nonchalant, kicked back, arm, elbows up, leg crossed kind of guy. And he's like, yeah, Cpt Lee's really pissed that you guys aren't carrying your weight. Meanwhile, Eddie and Jake are doing whatever, whenever, however they want to. And all the menial stuff, Cpt Lee wants to make sure all the menial stuff, he wants to see Wes and Rayna doing that because, you know, one of the first episodes, they put Jake to the lead deckhand. So the two lowers happen to be Rayna and Wes. And so he wants to see them doing all the menial tasks. So anyway, they do this flashback to where Eddie was talking about how Cpt Lee was pissed about some more stupid shit, right? This whole time, Rayna's been walking around with the whole N-word incident on her heavy, right? and not addressed at all. And now, come to find out from Eddie Lucas that production forced them to stop talking about it. So in this scene right here where she says it doesn't have anything to do with you. No. It doesn't have anything to do with you. And Eddie's all, but you don't have to say anything if your eyes roll out of the back of your head. So Eddie is fully aware of the N-word incident being unaddressed and her feeling a kind of way about it. He knows outright that production stopped them from addressing it, leaving Rayna basically emotionally like raw, and forced them to stop addressing it, while simultaneously painting her to be this eye-rolling black girl that just has all this attitude whenever she gets asked to do anything that's her job, which is far from the case. It's far from the case. But the production of it, the production that Bravo and whatever production company is in charge of this particular series is allowing to be produced is the narrative and stereotype of an angry black woman. Now, if you're not a melanated Nubian goddess, such as myself or such as Rayna, you know, being stereotyped and stereocast is no fun. But to have the production of it so maniacally plotted that you're put in a situation to be verbally abused and racially assaulted with verbal abuse, but then to have it unaddressed by anybody that is basically in HR, and then to have the captain of the boat continue to pluck with you and now not want you to emote the remaining emotion that you have that's gone unaddressed about the N-word situation. He went on to tell all the freaking kins on the boat. So Jake knows, Eddie knows, and freaking Captain Lee all got to sit around and commiserate about the eye-rolling black girl and the lazy kind of deckhand Wes who's always on his cell phone. I mean, if it's not the shucking and jiving stereotype, it's an angry black woman stereotype, and I am triggered. And look at the looks on these people's faces. They are just like, oh my God, these people are really having at us, aren't they? These people are really having at us. Because granted, you guys, the entire cast knows what happened. The entire cast knows, production knows what happened. Yet they are continuing to spin this narrative that Rayna has no reason to be upset about anything. That Rayna, any emotions that are coming off of Rayna are, for one, negative because she's emoting. And you know, anytime a black woman is emoting or saying her truth is a problem in most spheres. But in this case, it's her simple eye rolling at the unaddressing of her emotional trauma at having the N-word used around her. So now here we come to double standard time in this same series, in the same episode from this week. Because Captain Lee, who is known about the eye-rolling Rayna and how she can be difficult, is now sitting at a dinner, right? And these are the lovely guests of the charter this week. A tech giant and his friends and their wives. And they were having a Black Excellence boat ride. Anyway, this lady right here, this client, is talking to Heather Chase, the N-word user. This blonde chick is the N-word user. And so Heather Chase is serving the client's dinner in front of Captain Lee. Now, the issue in this scene is that it's the first dinner of the charter and that they got the allergy sheets mixed up. So when the client politely says, hey, I need this, Y, and Z, Heather stands there and argues with her and tells her, oh, well, the sheet didn't say this, all in front of Captain Lee. Basically arguing and challenging the charter guest, who they expect to leave upwards of a $15,000 tip. She's arguing with her about what her sheet said. And the lady's like, no, I know what it said. And Heather has this little attitude because don't forget, she already used the N-word. So she got something in her that makes it okay to feel this way around melanated goddesses, right? So she got a little something in her. And this is the look she gives the lady
That's an eye roll to me. That's an eye roll and a smirk. And that's the look she gives the guest who is saying, you know what? You almost killed me by touching dairy on my plate. You know? So, and this is all in front of Captain Lee. So this behavior is totally acceptable and tolerated. Okay? Because Captain Lee doesn't say anything. The lady's just really cool. She's like, oh, this bitch is trying me, huh? So she knows she got all quiet. And this is Captain Lee's expression during the whole exchange. He's not saying anything. The lady wasn't belligerent. She wasn't angry. She was just like, look, I know what I put on my sheet. And that's what I want. So then Heather Chase, the N-word user, runs back down to the kitchen to try to find a way to make it not her fault. In the meantime, the charter guest is, look at her, she's brewing. She's like, I'm paying $6,000 a night for what? So when her friend on the boat is like, ooh, they got more food coming, girl. She's like, no, I'm good. I am good. I'm done for tonight. And you know when we talk about we done, right? So meanwhile, down in the kitchen, they're still trying to make it not their fault. In the meantime, the cook, Rachel, who's really awesome in the episode, and in most episodes, super funny, she cooks a whole rack of lamb to make up for her rack of lamb touching her rack of lamb touching the dairy in the first place. And Heather is still looking for a way for it to not be her fault when she realizes, oops, my bad. It's my complete fault. I read the sheet wrong. No wonder she's pissed at me, Heather Chase, the N-word user, says. And Eddie Lucas says, well, now you can go and apologize. So Heather, the N-word user, Chase, goes upstairs and says, oh my gosh, I realize now it's my fault. I'm so sorry. I apologize for the misunderstanding. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, everybody else is eating. She's ruined the lady's first night on the charter, rolled her eyes, had a hissy fit, argued with the guests. What happened to the guests is always right? All in front of Captain Lee, right? So here's the double standard continuing. Because then Captain Lee wakes up the next morning and you know what he says? He said, so I've been thinking about yesterday. And I don't want to see any more eye rolls. I don't want to see any more eye rolls. And basically, there's always a reason for that kind, for somebody's behavior, he says. These are the words he said. He said, you always have to keep that in mind. He's talking to Eddie. This is what Captain Lee is telling him. Because he doesn't want to see any more eye rolls, right? People don't do things for no reason whatsoever, is what Captain Lee tells Eddie. Because it's pretty damn rare for somebody to just do something for no reason. So in the meantime, Rayna is acknowledging, feeling, and telling Wes how she acknowledges that Eddie attacked the shit out of them last night. And, you know, how is he in there attacking them about an eye roll when everything else is unaddressed? And it's crazy. She's like, we were having a great charter yesterday until that happened. And, you know, she just doesn't like the way that it feels. She's obviously feeling singled out. She's obviously still reeling from the N-word being used around her and not being addressed, but still being put in situations where she constantly has to address and modify her behavior that is human. Emoting is a human behavior, you guys. But no, now it's a problem because the girl is upset that you guys don't address the N-word. So for some reason, all of a sudden it goes into Captain Lee and Eddie calling Rayna up to the top deck to, calling Rayna's turn to like unanchor the boat or something like that. And so Eddie and Captain Lee have a whole back and forth about how, you know, you really have to nip these type of things out in the situations in the butt before they get blown out and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Heather gets to goof off and whatever all over the place. Her and Rachel downstairs in the kitchen dancing and whatever. And Wes is working hard, of course. But look how these two are like just literally kicked up with their feet up, you guys. Talking about how Rayna is an issue. And at least that's what it's edited to look like.
So all of a sudden, Eddie comes in. He's like, I want to give Rayna good opportunities because, you know, we got to do some attaboys. We got to give these people some attaboys and some attagirls, you know. So basically, you know, you beat the dog and then you pat it on the head, right? So they allow Rayna to do a really big to-do, which is to like hoist the thingamajigget or whatever it is. And she does fantastic. And they end up complimenting her. And then Captain Lee calls her up to the room to tell her that was the best ever unanchoring in the history of unanchors on the deep blue sea. And what a great job, kiddo. So this is after you sent all the other people to tell her about her eye rolls. And now, oh, great job, kiddo. So, of course, Rayna smiles awkwardly, and she's like, thank you. But now, understandably, sis is like, these fuckers. The audacity of you humiliating me for emoting, and now you call me upstairs to give me an attagirl? And Rayna says outright to Wes, she's like, you know, I really don't like this bullshit. Because I appreciate you letting me do the anchor, but it doesn't make up for yesterday. It doesn't make up for not addressing shit that I've been telling y'all that I've been going through. It doesn't make up for you guys allowing this like whole production that I'm emoting is an issue, you know? And just when you think it's gonna be okay, they do something else to fuck with you. And it's not like you letting me hoist the anchor is gonna put everything else that's unaddressed. It doesn't make it okay. So she's just like, I can't do this. I got to get through this charter. And then Wes had a good point. He's like, yeah, it's like, I'm punishing you, but we're going to Disneyland tomorrow. Like, what kind of psycho parent does that, right? What kind of psycho boss does that, right? And she's like at these people mercy in the deep blue sea. Rayna said, it's like trying to play with someone's head. And it literally is, you guys. Literally. They're playing with her head. Because production, which is basically HR, forced them not to address it. And now they're doing these little nitpicky things to her all over the place, you guys. So now Rayna's triggered and she's crying. And Fraser is comforting her. And Eddie and Captain Lee are in the office, and they happen to overhear the walkie-talkie pick up Rayna's muffled crying. And they're like, what's the hell is that? And so then Eddie runs downstairs to be told by Heather, N-Word using Chase, that, oh, Rayna's crying and I don't know why. And all of a sudden, Eddie says, oh, I feel so bad. And I wonder if that's because... Oh, and then Rayna's saying, oh, God, please get me through this. But I wonder if Eddie said, oh, I feel so bad because he knows about the mind games they're playing on Rayna with this production in running interference on freaking addressing black issues and their race issues on this network. You know, he added that production played a part in what viewers saw. And he said that production was terrified by the whole situation coming out. And they told him and the rest of the crew to stop bringing it up. Eddie said that he was told numerous occasions not to talk about the N-word situation. But he was told to tell the black girl to stop rolling her eyes. He was told that. Anyway. Leave a comment down below. Do you think that was a double standard to not want to have Rayna roll her eyes, but to allow Heather N-Word using Chase to roll her eyes at paying clients? That's a double standard, Captain Lee. They're having you look all kind of shoddy, dude. I mean, I like your little comebacks and everything, but you're coming off looking like kind of a jerk. I don't know. Everybody in production knew. The whole cast knew. They were told to stop talking about it. So for you, Captain Lee specifically, to be like, oh, she's rolling her eyes and like allow them to do that. I don't know how much pull he has, but it just doesn't feel like that with all the whole things on the vessel to worry about. You're worrying about the black girl's eyes movement. Really, Captain Lee? I call bullshit. Anyway, bravo, your racist slip is showing, in my opinion. And you need to stop this production of all this BS. Don't appreciate it. Go back to just entertaining me. Us.
rather. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to LRGA Curves. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit that bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video, and I'll see you in the next one.